Whether you do it by writing 2 gut-wrenching checks every year or by adding hundreds of dollars a month to your mortgage payment, you probably pay your property taxes. You may hate it, but you recognize that we all need to pay our fair share. But some owners of luxury homes here are not paying their fair share, increasing the burden on everybody else by using a law that was never intended for them. Tonight, News 13 investigative reporter Larry Barker rips the lid off an outrageous abuse.
That's a little bizarre. I'm not sure how that could have happened. We have clearly individuals who should not be getting that huge tax break. The files that you've shown me clearly show abuse.
This palatial estate, complete with luxury home, manicured gardens and grounds, is an illusion of sorts. So is this. And this one too. All it takes is some governmental incompetence and bureaucratic indifference. Sprinkle in a bit of hocus pocus and poof, these magnificent estates are transformed. You see, this isn't just a lavish home site. On paper, it's a working farm that includes a poultry and horse breeding facility. Damian Lara is Bernalillo County Deputy Assessor. Are there horses and chicken
There
coops?
are not horses nor chicken coops on that property.
By creating the illusion of agricultural use, the homeowner got a big break on his property taxes. The claim of horses and chickens reduces the property's value by more than $300,000. Our 8-month-long investigation found the same hocus pocus all over Bernalillo County. As Cabinet Secretary, Demesia Padilla oversees New Mexico's Property Tax Division.
You're kind of taken aback. You're like, how is this happening? I mean, these are luxury homes on very large parcels of property, of acreage, and they don't appear to have an agricultural purpose.
What's going on here? Well, it has to do with a tax break extended to New Mexico's struggling farm industry. If you're a farmer growing a crop of corn or alfalfa, then your acreage is taxed at a lower rate than residential property in the city. Our investigation found palatial estates in Bernalillo County showing up in public records as farmland. By claiming acreage is under cultivation and agricultural, owners can save big bucks on their property taxes. To qualify, the property owner must prove the land is used primarily for agriculture, something like this. But in Bernalillo County, the reality is more like this. For example, the owner of this 3-acre Los Ranchos estate got a $300,000 break because he claims to have a 2-acre orchard on his property. This homeowner has an agriculture exemption for fruit trees. Where are the fruit trees?
There are no fruit trees on that property.
This exemption for this property is not legitimate.
It needs to be updated, yes.
The orchard owner is not some struggling subsistence farmer who sells his apples and peaches from a roadside fruit stand. Don Hedges is actually a North Valley doctor. When we called to ask about his agricultural exemption, the good doctor told us, go to hell. When the owner of this North Valley estate applied for an unspecified agricultural use, the assessor's office decided that 18 fruit trees constituted a 1.25-acre orchard, which reduced the property values here by $170,000.
That does not appear to be a farm. That appears to be a luxury home. There might be a few fruit trees on there, but I don't really see what I would consider an orchard.
Does this look like a 1.25-acre orchard to you?
That appears to have been a mistake. It appears that this property has been allotted too much acreage under the special valuation property.
In '97, homeowner Paul Duncan asked the assessor to grant an agricultural exemption on his 2-acre North Valley estate for a pasture, an orchard, and a garden. But the assessor at the time thought this compound looked too residential and not enough agricultural and rejected the claim. Duncan took his case all the way to the New Mexico Court of Appeals and lost. In what is today considered a landmark opinion, the court said this tax break is intended to help the small subsistence farmer. Because Duncan's property is primarily residential, the court agreed his land did not qualify for an agricultural tax break. That was in '99. Shortly after the court ruling, however, Paul Duncan was handed an agricultural exemption anyway, which today reduces his property values by $150,000. Randy Audio is the Bernalillo County attorney. According to the Court of Appeals, who should qualify for an agricultural exemption?
Essentially, someone who's doing a majority of the use on their property as agricultural. You need to be primarily farming.
Our investigation found the assessor's office routinely ignoring the law by granting farmland status to Bernalillo County residential properties that don't qualify. The abuses have been going on for years. In '07, Paul and Diana Maloof got a $200,000 break on their property values for an unspecified agricultural use on their 3-acre luxury estate in Los Ranchos. What's the agricultural use requested by the homeowner on the application?
None is listed.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
The Maloofs did not return a phone call for comment. If this was just an unimproved North Valley lot, the land would be valued at $95,000. However, because there are beehives here, the owner gets an agricultural exemption for honey production. As a result, property taxes on this prime North Valley real estate are $12. The property values on this 3-acre estate are reduced by more than $400,000 because a dozen years ago, a previous owner claimed to be growing alfalfa. Is this a farm or a luxury estate? We don't know, and neither does the assessor. Where is the supporting documentation on this file?
There is none in this file.
Joseph Rivera gets a $156,000 bonus on his 3.8-acre North Valley estate because of a claimed bird habitat with fruit trees and a pond with bluegill. Rivera hung up when we asked about his agricultural use. And who can forget the $7 million estate with the $24 tax bill owned by Texas millionaire Michael Buttaker? Not only did Buttaker avoid paying tens of thousands of dollars in property taxes, he also got a $54,000 agricultural exemption he did not apply for.
It's a little shocking when somebody's got an exemption and no application in the file. That's not good.
We do not have in our possession an application from Mr. Buttaker. And as such, pursuant to state law, that special method evaluation has been removed from this property.
We surveyed more than 24 Bernalillo County properties with agricultural exemptions. None comply with state law.
It's a problem. There is no doubt that the agricultural exemption has been abused. The residents of Bernalillo County are getting shortchanged.
The county assessor is now reviewing the farm status of the 24 properties we identified in our investigation. Agricultural tax breaks that cannot be justified will be removed, and penalties may be imposed for intentional deception. Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.